Friends, shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I hope you all got a chance to celebrate Israel's birthday last week. And, it's never too late to celebrate it. It's a celebration of the freedom that is at the core of all mankind, especially for those who have traditionally grown up in a world that's valuing humanity, decency, relationship, family. Now, this week, we have another two-part Torah reading, and it's a very interesting one, and it's also a very special one. It points to a theme that we have incorporated into our regular gatherings. So before we go further, let us use this opportunity to welcome others, to welcome everybody you know to celebrate our coming together as a like-minded group and a showing of faith, of love, as a community, a chavura, a fellowship. When we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together right now. Hine Matov. Nai. Shevet Tafim. Come. Yachad. Hine Matov. Nai. Shevet Tafim. Come. Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. Now, as a community, let's all spread love, goodwill, fellowship to the world. And that's all that, it's a coming together. It's like I say, it's from the Psalm. So all it is saying, how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters can come together as a community. And that's what we all are. We're a community. And as we generate this spiritual connection that unites each of us together as a whole, we can continue to send out healing and renewal energy out to the world. And let's send some special prayers now, as a group, out to Christine and her family, and for Ben, for Bob, and for Lindsay, for the one and only Honeybee, and for the souls of all the broken-hearted people. Let's send love and renewal and healing to them and to whoever else you know who comes to your mind. And of course, make sure you include yourself, because you need renewal too. We all need renewal, my friends. It is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And as we all know, spirit never dies. Mi sheberech avoteinu b'kol habracha limotenu. May the sound of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. And it is all about renewal. Misha Berach. Let's all have our spirits renewed, wherever we are. Now remember, when we do this, my friends, you're dedicating a little bit of sacred time in your own little sacred space. And even if only for a few minutes, hey, that's all you can do, that's fantastic. It is a part of your kavanah, your intention, your goodwill to honor your time to regenerate and to honor whatever it is you happen to believe in. Oh, friends, as I said, this week we have another double parsha, acharei mot and kedoshim. Now, acharei mot, after the death of Aaron's sons. Well, actually, it's really about the preparation for the Day of Atonement. And this small parsha goes on to talk about not eating blood and what constitutes allowable sexual relations. It's a pretty broad-ranging, list of things. And then we have kedoshim, holy. You shall be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. There you have it. We are holy. That's great to know. But this little parsha is a true watershed moment in the Torah. It's what makes the Jewish code of laws different from any other in history. Now, individually, these two parts are okay. But in the years they are read together, the whole is far greater than the two parts. And it's a special reading, not just because of how it ties two incredibly diverse titles together to give an entirely different theme. Acharei mot kedoshim, after death, holy. And friends, there are three incredible messages contained here. The need for atonement and forgiveness, the essence of holiness, and the understanding we are, each and every one of us, simply holy as a matter of fact, and it's built into our DNA. And that after the death of someone, we praise them and honor them and make them holy. Well, these all come together because after the death of someone, we grant them atonement for pretty well anything they did while alive, and we praise them. Would we do the same if they were still alive? Maybe. If so, why not do it while they live? Why do we wait for death and then immediately say, I wish I had told them, ... Don't wish, my friends. Don't wait. Tell them. Do it while they live. Listen, boy, I'm sure you think you got it all under control. You don't want somebody telling you the way to stay in someone's soul. You're a big boy now. You'll never let them go. That's just the kind of thing they ought to know. Tell them. You got to start telling people that they have meaning before they're gone. Now, for me, this reading's especially special because this was the wedding parsha of Noah and Hallie. Beautiful pair of soulmates. Happy anniversary to you both. You are special people. Now, these last few weeks have been difficult for some people who are close to me, and some I had not met before. I was involved in 2 death watches, and they take a huge toll on those involved. And you see how people react to the situation. And it reminded me of some of the things touched upon in this parsha. That family is really made of 2 things: love and support. They are unconditional, and sometimes you do not get them growing up, and you fight your whole life for them. Now, you may not have gotten them because your parents did not get them and did not know that they could change that. You don't have to hold on to, I didn't get, so why should you view. You can break the mold, still give love and support. If there's anybody you need to tell these things to, do it while they live. And while this has been a difficult time, I did get some great advice from my go-to teacher. He sent me a note and it said, breathe. Well, thank you, the Blessed One. Breathe, my friends. You know, ancient stories tell us that humans once spoke with the animals, with the birds, with fish, and with all of nature. Humans were given the ability to communicate through vibration, magnetic resonance, frequency of sound, of light, movement, that all things of nature produce, transmit, receive, and possess. And over time, humans lost the ability to communicate in unspoken ways when ego dominated. And they considered themselves more important than all the other animals and things in nature. They were no longer a part of nature, but became rulers over their dominion. And we lost certain abilities. As my dear friend Luke would say, there's not one single living plant organism anywhere in the world that cannot be used as healing medicine. That includes all trees, grass, bushes, flowers, weeds, vines, ferns, mosses, and he knows them all. Every living plant organism is created to provide humans, creatures, and the Earth Mother with healing power. And there's not one single stone or rock that cannot be used as healing medicine, and he knows all of them too. This means that all consolidated material consisting of the aggregate of minerals, including every inch of Mother Earth's crust and inner compositions, provide healing. All creation, my friends, provides healing to everything else in creation. Everything we see and walk upon on the earth is a form of healing medicine. Divine wisdom and intervention was present at the beginning of time and remains part of the continuing creation of today's world. And friends, we can still continue to tap into it, to heal with it, to be holy and get what we seek atonement. We are given incredible insight in these two little Bible pieces. First, with a capsulized ritual for atonement with the lot casting on the two goats. And only when that's read with knowledge of what the Day of Atonement means and what it becomes does it have impact. Otherwise, it's just another listed ritual, an atonement offering that's turned into a sin offering, with the only mention of that strange being, Azazel, in the entire Tanakh. Leviticus 16:10. And the goat on which the lot for Azazel arose shall be stood alive in front of the Lord to make atonement over it. And let it go to Azazel into the wilderness. Well, the goats are the first case of assignment by lot in the Bible, and they're the only case that is an annual event. All the others are one-time occurrences. Leviticus 16:16. And he shall make an atonement over the holy from the impurities of the children of Israel and from their offenses, for all their sins. And he shall do so for the tent of meeting, the tents with them among their impurities, and he shall put them on the goat's head, and let it go by the hand of an appointed man to the wilderness. And the goat will carry all their crimes on it to an inaccessible land. And he shall let that goat go in the wilderness, and it shall be an eternal law for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th of the month, you shall degrade yourselves, and you shall not do any work, the citizen and the alien who reside among you. Okay, well, you remember the brief instructions for Passover, which have expanded 1,000-fold? Well, it's the same with the Day of Atonement. Brief, that's it. The verb here is the same word that's used to describe what the Egyptians did to the Israelites. Degrade, afflict. And it's through interpretation that has been understood to mean that one does not eat or drink or bathe or wear fine shoes on the Day of Atonement. Rather, one humbles oneself. Because on this day, he shall make atonement over you to purify you. You will be pure from all your sins in front of God. And friends, we want forgiveness, atonement, holiness, oneness, unity, love. We seek these things. Now, we're then told not to consume blood. And it's about the life force of energy. And we hadn't seen that since early Genesis, when God said that the earth was crying out to him over the spilt blood of Abel. And we need to understand and appreciate that there is a life force in everything. Whether you're vegetarian or carnivorous, you'll enrich your life and understand your place in the world better if you connect the ritual with consumption. Okay. Now, it's no longer the sacrifice, because when it was, we understood this, what the animal was giving up. So if it's not sacrifices anymore, then perhaps it can be something simple like, saying grace or doing a blessing, or maybe even occasionally visit a farm, observe the animals and plants, watch, touch, listen. Because of the power of blood, the text speaks of killing an animal as an equivalent to murdering a human. But we have lost that connection. This passage tries to take us back to it. Leviticus 17:14. Because all flesh is life, its blood is one with its life. So I say to the children of Israel, you shall not eat the blood of all flesh, because all flesh is life, it is its blood. Every one of those who eat it will be cut off. Now that's a pretty serious penalty for the consumption of blood. Now the rest of Leviticus, from kedoshim on, will give ethical laws, not just ritual. And no other code of law was devoted to ethics. Friends, we're inclined to question why cows are permitted for food and pigs are not. But when we read a command that says, you shall not steal, you shall not lie, you shall not act false, we don't feel the need to ask, why not? The ethics and morals, well, they've simply become a part of our genetic DNA. We don't question it. However, it can be more difficult dealing with ethical laws because they're not as easily grouped by types, as are the laws related to sacrifice, of food, to purity, to leprosy. Right? Ethics are harder. The ethical laws include such diverse matters as, leaving proportions of harvest for the poor, judging cases without bias towards either the rich or towards the poor, honoring the aged, fearing one's parents, not injuring the blind or deaf, not gossiping, not making one's daughter a prostitute, not committing adultery. If there is any common denominator to these diverse laws, It is feeling empathy with other human beings and attributing value to the lives of all of them. And the whole thing about the blind and the deaf becomes a major focal point of a lot of the laws that are coming. Ring them bells for the blind and the deaf. Ring them bells for all of us who are left. Ring them bells for the chosen few who will judge the many when the game is through. Ring them bells for the time that flies, for the child that cries when innocent dies. Ring them bells. Ring them bells. Now this is the real turning point in the Torah. The switch to ethics, to morals, to the essence of humanity. Leviticus 19:14. You shall not curse a deaf person. You shall not place a stumbling block in front of a blind person. And we can so easily be blind and deaf, and so easily put stumbling blocks in the way. You shall not do an injustice in judgment. You shall not be partial to a weak person, and you shall not favor a big person. You shall judge your fellow with justice. You shall not go with slander among your people. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall not take revenge, and you shall not bear a grudge. Now the Talmud goes on to note that anyone who forgoes revenge merits that God forgives all of his sins. Now it further advises that God loves a person who does not get angry and who does not insist on his due measure. I guess that lets me out, although I am working on it. Now Maimonides goes even further, requiring a person to wipe the wrong from his heart entirely without remembering it at all. Now, what a gift that is, my friends. And perhaps a contemporary therapist would describe this as the challenge of relinquishing anger, presenting an incredible opportunity for personal growth. Now, does this mean we should be passive victims in the face of abuse? No, not at all. The very same biblical portion tells us that we must verbally confront somebody who has wronged us in order to avoid hating him in our hearts. We must do so directly and emphatically, but without hatred, without destroying the relationship. Now, we have an obligation to protect ourselves, not put ourselves in a vulnerable position where the offense can be repeated, but at the same time, we need to do so without speaking with hostility or taking an action that goes beyond self-protection, without vengeance or withdrawing into a cold and judgmental contempt or prolonged silence. And too often, this becomes a recurring tragic family scenario. Over the years, someone's maintained an angry distance from a relative, a parent, a child, sibling. Suddenly the relative dies, and the person's love, long masked by a veneer of anger, erupts into awareness. And the man or woman is racked by regret and guilt. How could I have wasted these years when I could have... ... Now, traditional Jewish philosophy in general, and Yom Kippur in particular, offer some protection from such tragedy. Friends, the Torah says, do not believe that you cannot forgive. It's always your task to achieve forgiveness. Understand that anger and resentment are sustained by irrational thoughts. See, if you deeply examine your anger, you will identify and correct these perceptive distortions. Third, there is a negative force in the world that seeks to destroy closeness. Now that force is the source of those irrational thoughts. And four, in personal relationships, underneath anger, there is hurt, fear, and most importantly, a need to love and be loved. Friends, consider reaching out to someone in a spirit of loving forgiveness, and do so while they're alive. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light. Continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom, my friends, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. God bless you all. Have a fantastic week. Week of love and light, a week of peace, week of miracles. Examine your intentions. And don't forget to keep imprinting your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have the knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Then ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you. You should learn to be forgiving, to be compassionate. The secret of forgiveness, my friends, the secret of compassion, the secret of peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself? Can you accept other people? Can you accept the world just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep shining, keep sharing, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always there in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. We all were once connected. We can be connected again. May all people know peace in the year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in your body. Expand your heart. Quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, aware, present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life, my friends. Continue to touch and transform the lives of everybody around you. You're never alone. You are forever blessed. You're holy, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself, and love with the heart. We're all part of the greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief. And again, I'll remind you to see how far you are from knowing what our biblical friends did. They knew. And don't accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find our own way in a desire to have love and support. We are all holy, my friends. And we do not have to fear. And we do not have to kill the holy among us. There was a man from Atlanta, Georgia, named Martin Luther King. He shook the land like a rolling thunder and made the bells of freedom ring today, with a dream of beauty that they could not take away. Just another holy man who dared to make a stand. My God, they killed him. Now, do not kill the holiness in yourself or in anyone else. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, be loving. Print your will on the blank canvas of life and keep celebrating being free to be you. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care, my friends. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.